Okay guys, I'm in the ridge at McCormick and I'm on Grebe, and this is the house that we chatted about regarding the assumable. I'm going to tell you that this neighborhood was built by a company called Quadrant. It's now called TriPoint. And when Quadrant very first started, it was owned by somebody who isn't necessarily a neighborhood builder. So feedback I get a lot from people is just the kind of lack of curb appeal. I believe that's going to grow in over time. We didn't, the builder didn't put in street trees and things of that nature. The plane of the houses is all pretty flat, meaning all the houses kind of line up, so there's not a lot of differentiation between houses. If you had built the house, you could put on some small features like these stone fronts, these little shutters here. But when this neighborhood was built, it was at that time kind of the height of that market. And so builders could really get away with limited finishes, and the housing at that point was pretty high. So I've found a lot of the people that originally built these homes, they did very little as far as the aesthetic upgrades. That doesn't mean you can't, do that now. So could we put a tree in? Could we add shutters? Could we add maybe an arbor here to just create a little bit of a difference? So just something to bear in mind. The next thing to keep in mind is that this house actually does look like it has an architectural roof, but many of the homes are, getting to the end of the life of the roof because, say, the neighbor's house next door, that has a flat 3-tab roof, and I can actually see on the neighbor's house where they've had to patch the roof. So I'll see if I can get a good look at the roof, say, from that window, and tell you what I think about the age of the shingle, but that's just something to bear in mind. Very low maintenance siding because this is all vinyl siding, and I find it strange. In Washington, we don't use a lot of vinyl siding. It seems like it would make sense with the weather, but it's just not something we use a lot. But it's gonna wear a lot longer than, say, a wood product might. So on the side of the house, we have the electrical meter and the gas meter. So we have natural gas coming into the house. Probably the other side will be a gate. It looks to me like the siding is probably ready for a little pressure washing or some washing. And I am seeing under the eaves a little microbial growth, which is pretty standard for our weather and just microbial things, kind of the mold spores and such flying around in the air. But maybe this summer I would want to get a tall ladder and get in there and paint the sheathing. The driveway is concrete aggregate. Unfortunately, concrete, the nature of it is to crack, so we have some cracking here. I don't know if the neighborhood allows you to do a slurry coat over the top of this, and that might freshen it up if you put a little asphalt coat over the top of it. I would say this builder at the time was good at doing drainage in the yard, so I see some yard drainage there. Plant beds here, little rows there. So there are things you could do for the curb appeal. So, okay, I'm not seeing the gate. Maybe when I get out into the backyard, I'll get a better idea of where the gate is. This post is a little far away from the house, so it looks like they tried to patch that. If you have a small dog or something you want to keep indoors, there's a little gap there. Let's see if we can get a little better look at that sheathing. You can understand that discoloration in there is, telling you it needs some paint. I got nail heads poking through, and again, the paint, you don't want those nail heads to rust. So I'm not seeing anything alarming. Of course, there's snow on the house, but this is cement, so it's not vinyl, but this is the vinyl. power in the overhead, which I think is fantastic if you want to do holiday lighting or something of that nature. Maybe you would want to put a camera or something out here, so that makes it nice. This needs to be cleaned, and I know this house has been vacant for a while. We've already talked about, you know, what happened with the last buyer and their assumption process. But I would say the house in general needs a little exterior cleaning and maybe a little bit of freshening up of the paint. And I would say the front door could use a fresh coat of paint. Again, nothing alarming. I'm not seeing any rot or anything like that. All right, we're gonna enter on to what looks like a wood laminate. I don't know if the homeowner installed this or not, but I see a couple of areas where there's a little bit of gapping. That usually happens when we've cut things a little too short or too long, and then you have winter weather or moisture creating, you know, contraction or expansion. The paint interior, in my opinion, looks like it could use some painting. We have a bit of flashing here that, you know, you can't necessarily see real well, but nail holes and that sort of thing. It's not in horrible shape, but me personally, I'd probably have somebody come in and paint it. I have sold this floor plan a lot of times, so I'm going to tell you how people normally set it up. I generally see people putting their dining area here and maybe run a table this direction, maybe a hutch on that wall. So table coming this direction. I see people putting a drop zone here. You can see a coaxial here, but there's also a coaxial near the fireplace. And I would say the majority of the time I'll see people set up a living group in that area around the fireplace. Let's see if we got power. Yeah, here we go. So understair storage closet. Oh no, this isn't understair. So it's probably a pantry off of the kitchen that's going to take up some of that room under the stairs. So coat closet in the entry, powder room. So again, I would just say painting. This trim really is in pretty rough shape. Maybe changing out the light fixtures, just because they're pretty dated, and actually the metals don't match very well. This is a very short toilet, so it may just be time to kind of take a fresh approach to some of those sorts of things. You know, this lighting, of course, is very dated, but you could do something cool there. There's, of course, a ceiling fan there. Natural gas for the fireplace. Again, all of this paint looks, it's very darkened, probably from the fireplace. I don't want to call it soot, but there's probably a little off-gassing of the natural gas fireplace. So I told you earlier that people generally put their dining room there, and that's true, but there is a space right here. And if you had a smaller, like a 4-top table or a round table, sometimes I'll see people put it right at the foot of the stairs or right in front of the sliding glass door. But the majority of the time I'm going to see it go in that zone. Not a bad backyard, and that was something that I would say most people have enjoyed about this neighborhood. Because of the age of the neighborhood, we didn't have as restrictive codes for density. So I don't know if you can see any of this, but all of this needs to be washed. Light fixture, you know, overall. So I would say mostly cosmetic stuff so far. Don't see anything alarming. Probably going to have a yard drain in that corner and maybe one over in that corner, but nice size yard. I am not going to walk around. I'm assuming there is a gate on that side because there definitely was not one on that side. The kitchen counters are granite, but it is a granite tile. The appliances, this looks older, but it is a Whirlpool Gold, so maybe, you know, maybe it's in decent shape. We have an overmount stainless sink, but really nice size and pretty deep, which I always like. You know, nothing crazy to talk about with cabinets. I believe these are a melamine, so they're not, you're not really able to paint them, but they are already white, which is great. You know, again, nothing super exciting there. There's no what you would call soft close or anything. But nice size, and then they did put this bank of cabinets in. This again was an option with this builder. You could have just left this wall blank. A lot of my clients that have sold this house, you know, put a hutch there. There's also space here. I've seen people use this for a little freezer or a beverage refrigerator or something, but you could also put a low bank of, you know, a bookcase or something. Got a little cantilever here, so there is certainly room for bar stools, but there's lots of cosmetic things. So just to bear in mind, I personally would have the whole house painted before I moved in. There's that understair closet, and so your scuttle access is here. Okay, I was gonna say there's normally a cover. I see the cover. So all the technology comes into one hub here. So when you're having your internet set up, it's a lot easier to deal with that. Looks like they had ADT themselves at one time. And there's another rack here, but most of the time people will use this for storage. We have a pass-through pantry and laundry room. Pass-through meaning we're gonna walk through it. Okay, and the light is for now. Going to walk through this space to get to the garage. Looks like the washer and dryer stay with this house since the homeowner's gone, and this is LG. And then into the garage. Oh, okay. I think the light switch was not being my friend. Got a little overhead storage, which is nice. I'm going to go with the furnace and the water heater being original. Just don't think the house is old enough yet to have warranted these being changed out. And let's see what year. Oh gosh, I have to look at the age of the house. It's possible it's 2005. Nothing exciting about the panel. It's very standard. The only thing I would say here is there's no room. So there's no additional blanks if you were going to add anything. I don't know what you would add, but cover, T-stat, final electrical inspection. So I'm seeing all of the electrical inspection stuff. So this is, oh gosh, 07. You know, nobody cares about paint in the garage, so I wouldn't worry about the garage, but you know, it's what you would expect for a garage, kind of needing some love, but no need to do that. Cleanliness also, it's probably going to need a really deep clean before you move in. And I'm just showing you just kind of all this stuff. This carpet is fairly worn. I'm not seeing any tears or deep stains, but in the traffic pattern, it's pretty worn. There's no unusual or bad odors in the house that I smell. It's a little stuffy, but I think it's just been, you know, closed up for a minute. So top of the stairs to the left is the primary bedroom. It's gigantic. When we were building this neighborhood, heat pumps and air conditioning were things you would pay extra for. So they have left behind a window unit for this bedroom. And I think that's going to be really important because this is going to get a lot of western sun and heat. So big, giant primary bedroom. Like plenty of headboard space. You can put a headboard there, you can put a headboard there, and plenty of space for additional furniture. Peloton bike, ballroom dancing, and same in this closet. Really ridiculously amazing closet. I live in a really old house, 100-year-old house, so I would kill to have a closet like this. Okay, ensuite. Again, when you built in this neighborhood, you had to pay extra for everything. So we have laminate countertops here. The lighting in here has been updated, which is kind of nice, and same with the metals. The metals all match. Still, you know, some painting items. It looks like maybe a candle was here and that burnt that space a little bit. The soaking tub. I'll call it a Superman shower. It's like the size of a phone booth. That is real tile surround. It really needs some love on the grout though. The grout looks like it has quite a bit of microbial growth, so it's probably time to re-grout that. The grout around the tub looks fine. A little pony wall to give a little privacy to the commode space. And I guess that would be the remote for that little air conditioning unit. Get an idea of, you know, where the neighbors' houses are. And, you know, I don't see anything crazy. This neighborhood is a lot of large homes, so we're going to find a lot of, just showing you kind of conditions. I don't know if they had a pet kind of scratching that door. Family room. This is an upgrade that just surprises me. I didn't see too many people. Maybe one other house in this whole neighborhood where I've seen the fireplace upstairs and downstairs. But that's kind of cozy, natural gas fireplace. This one looks like it wasn't used as much as the one downstairs, so it's not as worn. And then I don't know what they had here, but chandelier probably changed that lighting out. So all of this needs paint. Bedrooms are all going to be nice size. The carpet in this bedroom is in pretty good shape except for some dark staining here, which is just probably the traffic pattern. What people loved about this builder is probably every bedroom's going to have a walk-in closet, so storage is great. We have another window unit here. All of the baseboards in here are pretty nicked up, so paint, I think you're getting the theme. Paint, 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 paint. Here's the hallway bath. And I didn't mention it in the mass primary bedroom, but this is like a rolled vinyl, looks in good shape. Caulking along there looks like it needs a little love. The shower doesn't look like it was used very much. So this is pretty clean. It's all high gloss brass look. I would change that lighting out in a heartbeat. Again, I'm going to go with possibly this bathroom didn't get as much use. And then another really nice sized bedroom. So we have the primary, then 1, 2 bedrooms, the loft space, and then everything downstairs. Nice walk-in closet. Another look at the neighborhood. And that is the house with the assumable on Grebe in Port Orchard.